going this
Let's go home early.
Karen, the Chamber of Commerce pulled their permit. They pulled their permit for the special events.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
How come?
They.
No, that's good.
Hey, Brad. How are you, buddy? Good to
This
see
is
you.
to help us do our job.
What? What?
Yes.
There's nothing on here, John, that's any...
Yeah, we're just, there's nothing.
It don't start till next Thursday. Not this Thursday, but the next Thursday. But the next Thursday, 20th, doesn't it?
Hey, what?
The first.
Next Thursday. Is it the 23rd?
You mean the downtown thing?
Yeah, the third Thursday.
This is the first time you got to sit next to me.
Pen, almost had a slot of pen.
No, they're not.
My memos were attached to it.
Yes, the thorn between two roses, as John would say. Yeah, right.
Karen, Chamber of Commerce is pulling their special event permit that's on here. Why did you want me to bring it up, or you just wanted to announce it? Number, is it G?
Who's pulling it?
The Chamber of Commerce is taking it off. They're gonna, the newspaper was gonna host it,
Oh, and they're not.
and they're gonna move it until later in the year. So they're not gonna have a business after
Okay,
hours.
all right, well, I won't even.
So,
Go just,
if you wanna announce that,
you want me to
that one.
announce that it's
Either
been
way,
pulled? Okay.
yeah, moving, they're moving it. The Chamber of Commerce business after hours, number
Okay.
8.
That's right.
Yeah.
Never proven innocent. Just trying to get a stay of the execution.
You're gonna read Rick's memo?
I'm happy to do that.
I would appreciate it.
Okay, and you,
That cut to 6
I was gonna think about it.
You're first.
I think that there's already,
You're gonna be good for questions. You need to be up here.
yes, Tom,
You're after Dean. That's where staff has to sit.
Well, yes, the mayor.
yes, Tom, in fact, I think we're approving Tom's tonight.
I can just...
I know, Rob.
Yeah, we're approving Tom's tonight.
I'm not, no, sir, I'm not.
So we're going to have this box first.
Yeah.
You might want to ask Linda about that, because I'm not sure exactly what the timeline on that is.
Oh, that's right, he said that.
There isn't.
Ask Linda.
We get up, like we'll do our presentation.
John,
He's
it's in Sanford.
gonna go first, then you
The
can
next
the question.
appointment.
Windsor.
Oh, Sanford.
Oh, really? Yeah, she.
Check symbols. Check symbols.
Really need to talk to somebody, because I don't have anything with that.
Come in and talk to Sam.
Yeah, just come in and meet you.
That's when it was good.
He's just, he's gone for something. He'll be back Monday.
Star Trek. Come in and talk to him.
Star Trek. Because it's not, city council, it's not my.
It's in his.
Two hands. Dear Ron, did you read this memo? Or am I?
No, I thought Chris was.
Chris is not here.
He's not.
No. So my research.
Yeah, he's just up here for questions if he's in.
Got it.
I think it's Tuesday. Let me see if I can double check and find out, because I don't have my phone here, so.
Technically, you don't need to if you don't want to be.
Your call.
You can go out and do something fun.
You know, sometimes it's hard when they not every single month.
And you leaving?
Oh, way left.
Okay, I'll take care of this for you. Bye, John.
Good. We'll come see Sam next week. All right.
I'll make you very happy.
All right, I would like to call this evening's council meeting to order. If you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to just start this meeting off reiterating that I think we're all thinking about Durango and the area to the east of us. They're in a real pinch right now, and so I know Orly mentioned that they had gone over and had dinner to support that economy. I guess we could all probably do that. I had reached out to their city manager today to just let them know that the city and its citizens are thinking about their staff and their citizens, and if we can do anything to help. I guess if you believe in prayer, then we all need to be praying for rain for all of us. So anyway, the first item on tonight's agenda is a consent agenda. The listing under the consent agenda is a group of items to be acted upon with a single motion and vote. It's designed to expedite the handling of limited routine matters by City Council. I will ask if a citizen or council member wishes to have any specific item removed from the consent agenda, and at that time, if a member of the audience or a member of council would like to do so, they can make that request and it will be removed prior to council's vote. The items on this evening's consent agenda include approval of the work session and regular meeting minutes of May the 22nd, special meetings of May the 29th, June the 4th, and 5th, 2018, approval of the expenditure vouchers of June the 12th, 2018, approval of a renewal hotel and restaurant liquor license for Stonefish Sushi and more, approval of a renewal hotel and restaurant liquor license for Tequilas, approval of a change in director and renewal arts liquor license for KSJD, approval of three special events permits for Cortez Retail Enhancement, for Cortez Retail Enhancement Association. Those are for the third Thursday events, which, by the way, that's next week. Approval of a special event permit for St. Barnabas Episcopal Church. The special event permit for the Cortez Area Chamber of Commerce has been pulled simply because they're going to not do that this month, wait until a little later. So are there any items on the consent agenda that anybody would like to see? All right, seeing none, could I have a
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda with the change of H as presented and with the extra expenditures of $100,021.60.
Second.
Noyes,
Aye.
Betts,
Aye.
Levy,
Aye.
Lucero,
Aye.
Sheep.
Aye. We have no presentations tonight. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address council? Seeing no one step up. We have no public hearings. We have no unfinished business, so we're moving to new business. The first item is 2018 planning and conceptual design services for the new community park.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council members. The Cortez City Council approved a GOCO grant contract for the purchase of the old Montezuma Cortez High School site so that a new park could be developed on the south side of the community. This process is proceeding and moving forward. In 2018 budget, Council also approved the development of a conceptual by professional design consultants. The Parks and Recreation Department solicited bids for professional design services from qualified landscape architectural teams for planning and designing of a new community park at this site. The conceptual design process will include 4 to 5 public meetings and will result in a minimum of 2 design alternatives and projected costs for the new community park, which would be utilized for obtaining matching grant funding for the park amenities. The bids were opened on Thursday, May 10th, with 3 planning and design firms submitting bid proposals. The lowest bidder being BHM Design out of Durango, Colorado, with a bid of $15,000. The second lowest bidder being Connect One Design out of Basalt, Colorado, with a bid of $19,260, and the highest bidder being Zarin and Associates out of Avon, Colorado, with a bid of $29,800. Following the bid opening, each one of the 3 planning and design firms were interviewed by a selection committee composed of city staff members, and I would want to mention that was made up of Chris Burkett, Sam Proffer, our planning and building director, and then also Mark Boblet, the park superintendent. Peyton, who was in the audience, was a part of that as well, and myself. So that's who was on the selection committee. We discussed the pros and cons of each firm and gave their input to me before I made the final recommendation to go before you this evening for approval. I followed up with some phone calls and checking some references and a prior City of Cortez employee for additional input. After weighing out all the pros and cons and input from the selection committee and a prior city employee and references, I am recommending to select Connect One Design for our planning and design firm for the new community park conceptual design process. Connect One Design has been thoroughly engaged throughout our entire selection process, provided a very detailed public outreach process and a very clear timeline for completion, has very strong lead principal in Heather Henry. And I guess she's in the prior city employee I talked to actually was one of our former city managers, Jay Harrington, and he's now the city manager at Carbondale. And I think most of us value highly his input, and Heather Henry is actually a board of trustee or on his actual city council. So she is very versed in public process, and definitely had a good recommendation from our former city manager. The bid of $19,260 will be funded by 2 different funding sources, with $10,250 from the general fund to cover public meeting expenses and $9,010 from the Conservation Trust Fund to cover the design expenses. The Conservation Trust Fund monies are being repurposed from the nature-inspired playground project at City Park that was budgeted and not funded by the Montezuma Inspire Coalition project, which left $35,000 in the Conservation Trust Fund undesignated for use this year. And I just want to clarify with that, with Conservation Trust Funds, the reason we're dividing this up, Conservation Trust Funds can be used for design costs, but they cannot be used for public meetings. So that would be separated out, where our general fund would handle any costs associated with those public meetings. Any questions?
All right, council, questions?
I don't have any.
It's exciting that we're getting started on this process. All right, if there are no questions, may I have a motion, please?
I make a motion that we consider approving the contract for the design bid at $19,260 to provide the planning and conceptual design services for the new community park, which is on the side of the old Montezuma High School.
Second.
Beth?
Aye.
Noyes?
Aye.
Lucero?
Aye.
Lady?
Aye.
Chief?
Aye. All right, the service center HVAC system. Ron, are you going to talk about that since Chris isn't here, or Phil, or?
Karen's going to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Roy,
We'll read-
I apologize.
Come
Duh.
I'm going to read the memo.
Okay.
At least the first part of it. I know you guys can read along, but just mostly for the record. The city recently contracted with ME&E for mechanical and electrical design and engineering for the rec center HVAC replacement project and the city police department HVAC replacement project. These contracts are still in progress. During the bid process for the police department HVAC project, the city specified that 2 of the replaced HVAC units be saved, so the city would have spare units to repurpose. These units have been installed on an emergency basis at the police department and were still good units. The city service center building houses the main city server room, and the co-location space for the network. The city currently has 4 split AC units, 2 in each room to cool the electronics. As density of equipment has been added, these split units are having a hard time keeping up with the increased cooling load. During the summer months, the room temperatures have been in the 80-degree range, and in the electronics rack, the temperature is 100+ degrees. This is a much higher temperature than recommended best practices for electronics and can result in premature failure. The repurposing of one of the units to cool the main server room and the co-location space will require a detailed engineering review and integration into the existing service center HVAC system. Since ME&E is under contract with the city for the Rex Center Police HVAC project, staff contacted them to get a price for the engineering and design services to repurpose one of the surplus HVAC units for this project. Structural engineering is also required in order to determine if the existing roof system can handle the added weight of the unit. Attached is the price proposal to provide the above services. Because of the importance of having backup power and cooling for the main servers, a review of the current backup generator loads and needs is included. The repurposed HVAC unit would be under the backup power for operation. The ME&E total price proposal for using the existing standby generator is $9,780, and the total price if additional standby generator capacity is required is $11,300. Staff recommends that council approve the ME&E proposal at the not to exceed amount of $11,300. Any questions, Ron's here, because I certainly can't answer that.
As I'm reading, the alternative is that we could, defer this until the 2019 budget, but that doesn't sound like that's really a good option to me. It sounds to me like you guys need to have this taken care of sooner rather than later. Is that fair?
Yeah, it is. It's we're heading already into the warm part of the season, and one of our core switches, the one that handles all the traffic for the county and the hospitals and all that stuff, has exceeded its minimum threshold 3 times today. It's 110 degrees threshold inside, and it's gone over that. That's the temperature inside the machine. It could be 80 degrees in the room, but the temperature inside of the equipment is substantially higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
So the air conditioners that we have in there now are at capacity. 2 of them in the main server room run all day long.
So, because I read this earlier today, I may have seen it and just register now. How soon can they estimate, if we approve this tonight, how soon can we actually have this done?
I have no idea what the engineering study, I don't know
Okay.
what the timeline on that is. That's what this is for, is just for the engineering study.
Mm-hmm. So this $11,000 or $9,000 to $11,000 is just for the engineering study. This isn't actually to do the work to put it in?
No.
Okay, all right, that's where, well, yeah, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, well, that's pretty reasonable, it's just, okay, all right. All right, anybody else have any questions on this?
No questions.
All right, may I have a motion, please?
I make a motion approving the ME&E proposal for not to exceed over the amount $11,300 to provide engineering services for the reproposing of the HVAC system at the service center for the data room.
I'll second it.
Levy?
Aye.
Noyes?
Aye.
Lucero?
Aye.
Betts?
Aye.
Sheep?
Aye. Okay. Now, how soon can they start? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Phil, before you start on the 2018 streets and water line improvements, I just wanted to mention, I was down on South Broadway today and drove past the entry, and it is gorgeous. If you guys haven't been down there, They've got the trees planted. There's a beautiful pine tree. It's a really nice job.
And Mark and his team also have 2 blue spruces at the north entry as well. And they've brought out all the plant material in town they can get and are going to Durango, and I believe they might be going to Montrose, so they can, get the North Gateway going too. It's really spruced it up, and I'm really happy with the way it looks.
It's just amazing how much having that vegetation in there, and the tree itself is beautiful. I haven't seen the one on the north end, but I'd encourage everybody to go look at it because it's really super job. Tell Mark. It's quite impressive. Okay.
Okay, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council, good evening. What I have before you is our 2018 Streets and Water Line Improvement Projects, which is on North Dolores Road and also an ad alternate on East Carpenter. The North Dolores Road project was done this year in concert with the expansion from Mavericks. They had done a lot of curb and gutter and sidewalk installation as a part of their expansion, and we have, as a result of the widening of the road, we're going to go in and replace the water line and install curb and gutter on the west side as well as going north to 145 on both sides, replacing the water line, all the appurtenances, as well as repaving it. So it's going to be a benefit to the customers of Maverick, the residents, the business, as well as SWOs. This project consists of installing 5,175 square yards of asphalt paving, 196 square yards of new concrete and sidewalk, curb ramps, and approximately 1,850 linear feet of new curb and gutter. In addition, we'll be doing 2,100 feet of 8-inch and 6-inch water line, the associated fittings, valves, hydrants, and 375 linear feet of various storm drain and curb inlets to improve the stormwater conveyance on North Dolores Road. The impacts are going to be on North Dolores Road from State Highway 145 south to Highway 160, and then it will go west to the, I guess it would be the east entrance of the giant Conoco station. They will be tying into 2 mains there. So that'll be that project. And then the add-alt, you'll see down below it says base bid, and total bid price was East Carpenter Street from North Mildred East to the end of it. We had a leak on East Carpenter Street last fall, and the pipe was actually disintegrating as they were trying to just do some leak repair on it. We were finally able to chase it up to a point where the pipe would stop breaking, and we capped it. Basically isolating a fire hydrant at the end of the road. We had to bag it because it no longer had main going to it. And so this would be another 550 so water line installed on that street itself. There would be new tie-ins for the residents, a new hydrant where the tie-in point at Cornet is, and we'll be doing patch back on that road. We won't be doing a full repaving. So we advertised, we did a project walkthrough on May 24th. All interested prospective bidders were there. We opened bids on June 24th with 3 bids as shown below. All the bidders naturally associated, acknowledged receipt of the addendums and provided the mandatory 5% bid bond. The 3 bids we received was from D&L Construction here at Cortez. The base bid of $673,672. That base bid was just for the North Dolores Road project work, the street work as well as the water. And then the add-alt brought that up to $767,619. Old Castle Southwest Group out of Bayfield bid for the base was $1.068 million, and their total bid price with the add-alt was $1.23 million. Western Gravel Construction out of Montrose base bid was $1.047 million, and their total bid price of $1.241 million. Our engineer's estimate for the base bid was $741,491, and a total bid of $812,456. The alternatives are canceled. You can approve the bid from D&L Construction as a low bidder in the amount of $767,619 for the entire project. You can approve the bid with any changes you feel are needed. You can vote not to approve the bid and state your reasons, or you can table this business item if you feel like it needs further review. Public Works recommends awarding the 2018 Streets and Waterline Improvement Project to D&L Construction in the amount of $767,619. D&L Construction has completed several projects for the city and has done a good job in the past. They are very capable of handling this project and are able to meet our schedules. The monies have been budgeted in the water improvement water fund in the amount of $325,000 and street capital in the amount of $500,000.
All right, council, are there any questions about this?
Yeah, then needs to get done. Yeah.
Okay. May I have a motion, please?
I make a motion awarding the 2018 streets and water line improvements to D&L Construction at a bid amount of $767,619.
Second.
Levy?
Aye.
Lucero?
Aye.
Betts?
Aye.
Noise?
Aye.
Sheep?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Next item on the agenda is request for proposal results for professional engineering consulting services for the ADA ramps. Phil?
Yes, ma'am. This is the follow-up to our meeting in May where I asked for the approval to go out to get a request for proposals for this services for the median project. And what's different from this for most bids that we go out, this was a performance-based bid. They provided us with a price, but they also provided us with the staffing, availability of their project approach, et cetera. So we received three RFPs, but they're not, across the board numbers associated with those. So this was a performance-based evaluation by engineering. We received 3 of these proposals from Bechtold Engineering from Durango, Davis Engineering Services from Pagosa Springs, and Yane Associates, also in Durango. As you see in your packet, the proposal we received that is preferred, which is from Davis Engineering Services out of Pagosa, their total project estimate was $92,000. Now, when I came to you in May, I estimated $50,000, and their proposal was based on, from the beginning of the project all the way through, handling every aspect of engineering, all the forms, all the inspections, et cetera, so we would just be hands-off. Prior to this submission, we had been negotiating with them and talked about who's going to be associated with what tasks. And in the packet, you'll see there's lines on the proposal that are scratched out. Well, we got a finalized proposal from them today in the amount of $50,018, which would meet our needs to supply us with the PE on ground and support for the project, and maintain that, this is the quality project that we all want to see completed for the city. So, based on that information, which is on target with the $50,000 ask I made in May, that is our goal and we will not exceed that. Staff is recommending that we enter into a professional services contract with Davis Engineering Services for $50,000 as a not to exceed, and I'm open to any questions.
So they're willing to cut back the 18?
Well, yeah, I think I can get that out of petty cash.
Are there any questions, council?
That was my question.
All right, if there aren't any questions, can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion that we accept the proposal results for professional civil engineering consulting services project administration for the Cortez ADA ramps on US 160 and downtown safety improvements, CDOT project STE M250-007, project code number 22419.
Second?
Second.
Noise?
No.
Betts?
No.
Lucero?
Aye.
Levy?
Aye.
Sheep?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Roy, the appointment to the Board of Adjustment and Appeals.
What? You're looking at the third.
To the Board of Appeals?
You're the third quarterback here, so bear with
Or
me.
Linda.
There you go.
excuse me.
The Board of Adjustments has recommended that Tom Butler be appointed to the Board of Adjustments for Planning and Zoning Commission, and this is per Chris Burkett, City Manager. You can, if council so chooses, they can make a motion as follows. I move to approve the appointment of Tom Butler to the Board of Adjustments. Paige should be doing this because it's her memo.
I think it's your motion. Are there any questions about this?
I don't have any.
Okay. Could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to appoint Tom Butler to the Board of Adjustments and Appeals.
I second it.
Lucero,
Aye.
Betts,
Aye.
Noyes,
Aye.
Levy,
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. All right, letter of support for relocating the national BLM offices to Durango, Colorado.
I know nothing about that.
Okay, Linda.
It's got your name on it, Mayor.
Well, then I can address that too. There's been widespread feeling that since so many public lands, so many acres of public lands are actually located in the western United States, that it might be kind of nice for us to have the office out here rather than in Washington, D.C., where half the time they don't know what's going on in the other half of the country. So there's been a push to get this office relocated here. Apparently, a facility is being vacated at the airport, at the Durango Airport, by BP that would be perfect for BLM to relocate. And so we were asked if we would write a letter of support. It's a little late to the show because apparently there's been a lot of conversation about locating this office in Grand Junction. However, it never hurts to ask. If you don't ask, then you don't get, for sure. So this letter is simply a letter of support asking that that the location in Durango be considered as a potential location for this facility. So, are there any questions about this?
They picked Durango, huh?
Well, that's kind of what I asked too. But it's kind of one of those deals where they have the facilities, it's close to the airport, so if those folks need to be able to come and go quickly, they can do that. And so my sense about this, to a certain extent, is that, you know, it would be nice to have it closer to us as opposed to Grand Junction. So.
Like a little bit of something instead of all of nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. So, are there any questions about it or comments?
I think there's some merit in having the BLM in the western part of the country, but I think there's merits to have it back in D.C. where they can lobby and do other work with. They're close to the center of the government. But no, if it comes down to Durango, I would approve of it instead of Grand Junction.
Okay, so you're for the letter of support then?
Got your motion?
Okay, would you like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve proposal to switch the BLM headquarters to Durango.
Okay.
Second.
Noyes,
Aye.
Betts,
Aye.
Levy,
Aye.
Lucero,
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. We have no draft resolutions or ordinances. We have no other items of business. Is there anybody that would like to address council at this time? We have no city attorney's report. We have no city manager's report.
Absolutely nothing.
That's a record time there.
We did, at the workshop, we had a nice presentation by the group that's doing the community garden, and got to see what they've been doing and what they do with the produce that they produce. We continued our discussion of setting some time limits for receiving citizen comments, just so that we can be sure that we are treating everybody fairly when they come to address council. There was a review by the water treatment supervisor and by Public Works Director Phil Johnson on the conservation plan. It's in the course of being revised, and they were just kind of laying the groundwork and will be giving us regular updates on that. There was a discussion on the next steps on fiber, which included a feasibility study and a survey. That was it. There was an item on the housing authority, but we couldn't find that, so we've tabled that until next time around. Are there any other committee reports?
I was on the committee for the Cultural Center, and we had a solar barn raising event at the Cultural Center on May 23rd. It was well attended. There's a lot of people really interested in going solar. So I went on a ranch tour on June 8th, and we visited the ranches of Al Heaton and Kevin McComb, and it's really informative to see how these people are working the land. Al Heaton has a cow camp up there, and so we saw the bunkhouse and where they have the barbecues, and it's really a good thing to realize that we're still, part of the Old West up here. Native American dances go from Monday to Saturday at 7 p.m. That started May 30th and it goes to September 1st. The Parks and Rec Board had a ribbon cutting at the playground south at the South Softball Complex on June 4th, and it saw really nice playground equipment there. And the pickleball court is going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony on June 16th at 9 a.m. And last item is the second BMX race was yesterday, Monday, June 11th. And there's another well-attended event. It's really up and coming.
All right, any other committee reports? All right, is there anything else for the good of the city?
Everything's good.
We are adjourned in record time. Oh my gosh.
We're gonna have to forget about the chief of city manager.
Yeah.
The city rep.
Hey, Fred.
How are you? Okay.
What can I say?